Good morning, gorgeous lights. How are we this morning? What's happening? What's going on? What is it about today? Can you feel any shifts in the air? Have you felt any shifts in the air? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I would love to know what it feels like for you. Let's see. What's the message for today? What is it we need to focus on, be aware of? Okay, we have, this one's flicked out, and we have Judgment. That's not a big card at all, is it? So Judgment is literally judgment, right? But it's not about passing judgment on another. I mean, it can be if you're coming in like at a lower frequency or a lower vibrational level, but it's more about ourselves and the changes that we're making within ourselves for ourselves. And for the wider collective, it is very much about the rebirth. So if you look on this card, you'll see there that there's some people that look like they're almost just waking up, stepping out of that space and waking up. And you know, we hear this a lot. Well, I hear it a lot in you know, the circles and the people that I tend to travel with. But this is very much a waking up energy. It's like been tired on this long exhausted journey, and we're finally coming home is what it feels like. Now for some people that might be a little bit shocking, and for others it might be quite liberating. But this seems to be the energy of what it is today. So for today, given that that's the card that jumped out. So I would say that today is a day about scanning your environment, having a look at where you feel refreshed, what new opportunities are open to you, and also what is it that might be a little bit shocking that you kind of need to either take off your rose-colored glasses, you might want to put them back on real quick, but take them off and just have a look at your new environment, your new space. Like, it's interesting, even for people who might live by themselves or may not socialize very often, I'd be really interested to hear if you guys can sense or feel a change in the air. I know that I certainly can. So it will be interesting here. So we might hear some things, like we talk about the wider stage and all that's going on there, but today might be more of that. We might start to hear some judgments passed in different ways, right? And this still has that angelic or that galactical connection, because we have here the angel who looks over us, but he has the trumpet. So the trumpet is very much about like what we hear, or that there's been a declaration made of some kind. So this to me is like I'm getting in my head like that it's the sounding, not the resounding, but the calling, if you will, or something that says to you, alerts you to that this is the way now, this is the new now, this is the direction now, right? So because we're being called or gathered or whatever it is here, we can see that through the trumpet that he plays, right? So for some people this might literally be music to their ears, right? So one of those metaphors that we find hidden in the cards, there's a lot of metaphors in the cards, right? All these different things that are taking place. We might be looking up to the sky, right, to be asking questions of like, what is going on, what's happening, what's next. There's kind of this feel of, well, now I can stretch and wake up a little, but there's also this feeling of like, well, now what's next, what's coming, you know? And if you feel like that, then I would just ask that you bring your energy back to yourself, right? Just bring it back to yourself and center it within yourself, right? Because you're okay, you're safe no matter what, you know, no matter what goes on, as long as you're safe inside your own being, right? Energy can't be killed off, it can't be destroyed like that. It can be changed, yeah, absolutely. And that is a lot of what we're experiencing right now, is this change. So if you're feeling a bit like that, that is the change. So acknowledge that firstly, and then have a look. Where has the energy changed for you? Is it in relationship? Is it in business? Is it in work or career? Is it in intimate relationships, like where has this changed for you? Is it in your creative streak? Is it in where you choose to travel? Like, just take some time today to have a look at where these energies might have changed and wake up to that, so to speak, and feel what that might be like, because things are different. Cards keep telling us that. So judgment is what that is about today. Now, if I look at the subconscious piece, which I've been doing a bit lately, we have the Five of Wands. Now, the Five of Wands tells us a couple of things, like there's this internal struggle. This is from a subconscious point of view, right? Pardon me. So this is talking about that internal struggle and that internal not able to put all the pieces together. So there may be some things occurring for the wider collective as well as us individually that just simply doesn't make sense. It's like, I don't get that. Why did that person do that, say that, be that? Why did I do that, say that, be that? Like, what is that about? Or I don't have all the information. I can't make this fit and match nicely. Change is never going to be a smooth transition like that. It's, yeah, well, maybe on the odd rare occasion it will be, but this is not about that. This is actually about just allowing these energy changes, I feel, just to settle in and then see what we're left with, rather than try and struggle and fight that, right? And people might still be, and you might too yourself, because this is a subconscious piece, a little bit fiery or a little bit feisty about some situations that, you know, we're experiencing that we may not be aware of. I sat in on a webinar last night, and it was one of those experiences for me where I'm like, yeah, I'm all right, I understand, I've got all this. And then as it went on, it was a pretty simple seminar, but it was just so profound, like just the different things where I'm like, oh my God, I had forgotten about that, or I'd been projecting that outward when it was actually me that was causing thinking that way. So yeah, interesting, right? So that is some of what this may be for you guys. So bigger picture, conscious picture, we know stuff's changing and we are aware that we're waking up, but internally it's about that little bit of conflict going on. So pause, take a moment, really have a good look, dive deep. Where have you been projecting? You know, it was interesting for me last night in that webinar. Yeah. Anyway, that's the cards for today. So I hope that you have enjoyed that, and let me know what's changed or feels different for you guys. I'm just really curious about it. Yeah. Have an incredible day, and I will catch you beautiful folk next time. Big love.